age or your state, God has etched out your destiny and purpose, and that cannot be changed. And so the Lord prepared His servant. And as we go along the line, we go into chapter 10. And we're going to do some long reading this morning because we want to understand the scenario. You see, then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it upon his head and kissed him and said, "Is it not because the Lord hath anointed thee to be captain over his inheritance? When thou art departed from me today, then thou shalt find 2 men by Rachel's sepulchre in the border of Benjamin at Zillah." Very, very precise instructions. What a prophet. "And they will say unto thee, the asses which thou wentest to seek are found. And lo, thy father hath left the care of the asses, and sorroweth for you, saying, What shall I do for my son? Then shalt thou go on forward from thence, and thou shalt come to the plain of Tabor, and there shall meet thee 3 men going up to God, to Bethel, one carrying 3 kids, and another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a bottle of wine. And they will salute thee." What a prophet! "And they will salute thee, and give thee 2 loaves of bread, which thou shalt receive of their hands. After that, thou shalt come to the hill of God, the high, where is the garrison of the Philistines. And it shall come to pass, when thou art come thither to the city, that thou shalt meet a company of prophets." Now, look the location. He is born to save the Philistines. That is his purpose. Save Israel from the Philistines. I'm sorry. Not to save the Philistines, to save Israel from the Philistines. And when he reaches the garrison of the Philistines, this is their stronghold. This is their main area. The Lord says, through his servant, that thou shalt meet a company of prophets. And he says, not only will there be prophets, coming down from the high place. Now look what the prophets are carrying. With the psaltery, and the tabret, and the pipe, and the harp before them, and they shall prophesy. Now each of those things are musical instruments. And so, God is painting a picture, a prophetic picture. God is painting. He's actually releasing prophetically to Saul. But he's young, he doesn't understand it as yet. But God is speaking it out through his servant into the atmosphere, and he's going to do what he has to do after. So at the strongholds, the garrison, the main place where they meet the Philistines, there were the prophets. And they will prophesy. But look what they are carrying. Right away you know that these have got to be prophetic songs. They've got to be prophecy in song. There's got to be prophecy in song. And so, he said, they shall prophesy. And the Spirit of the Lord, come on, will come upon you. He will begin to brood. 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 That thou, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shall be turned into another man. Once the Spirit of the Lord is brooding, you will never be the same. Once the Spirit of the Lord is brooding, you will become another man and another woman. And God wants us to the Lord to brood over our lives. To brood over our lives. Even as he was there, brooding, when the earth was without form, and was void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. This is a time and a season when God understands your confusion. And the fact that my prophetic word says east, but my life looks like it's going west. God understands the situations where I didn't react the way I should. He understands the darkness, but he has come at this time through his spirit to bruise, to bring light, to fix, to bring synchronicity. The Holy Ghost, Spirit and power of Elijah. The end time Spirit. And so God sets his man. He says, let it be. When these signs, and imagine these were just signs. The fact is I can tell you these things, they're signs. He says, when these signs have come unto thee, that thou do as occasion serve thee, for God is with thee. And so he was saying, when these signs come upon you, you do what is supposed to be done in the circumstance. Do not look at faces, okay? Do not look at the situation. Oh, last week was tremendous. Do not look at reality. Come on. You just do it. Why? Because I am with you. Because there's a champion in you. And so God is saying, just go forward. And then he says, and thou shalt go down before me to Gilgal. And behold, I will come down unto thee to offer burnt offerings and to sacrifices of peace offerings. 7 days shalt thou tarry till I come to thee and show thee what thou shalt do. Very specific instructions. Every time we hear the word of God, God is giving us specific instructions. And it was a tremendous piece of advice that John gave in the book of Revelation. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of God is saying. Because you've got to hear so that you can heed. If you don't hear, you cannot heed. And so you've got to listen intently, ensure you miss out no detail. If you don't have your phone, have your notebook, because God is speaking. Because God is speaking. And when he speaks, he expects us to do. And so I've got to ensure that I'm in line with everything he said. And so he says to him, he says, within 7 days, I will come, I will do the offerings, and I will show you what to do. And it was so that when he had turned his back to go from Samuel, God gave him another. Say, change my heart, God. It's time for another heart. It's time for another heart. And so God has released a champion in Saul. But the fact that God releases a champion in you doesn't mean that he can do whatever he wants. You have got to release him to do what he wants to do. And so we go up, and Saul has been made king. And they've come to their first battle. He's waiting. 7 days have come, and he has not seen the man of God. And so he decided that he will do a burnt offering. Sometimes he said, I better do something because time is running out. to you. Sometimes they say, waiting is not just sitting doing nothing. But he was not sitting doing anything. He had gathered the people. He was doing things, but at this particular juncture, God had given specific instructions. And so, Samuel chose to reach the champion in him. He said, I tell you what, and I look to myself, and I'm going to do what I know needs to be done at this hour. And so he sent up a word of Did win the battle, but lost the war. Won the battle, but lost the war. If you're going to win both battle and war, the champion has to be unleashed. He cannot go up against the enemy alone. We've got to go up with the champion. Please, goes into get another battle. And they're just using themselves from God. He's having problems in obeying the word of God. He's having problems with sticking to exactly what God says. Because he's always conscious of what's happening and what people are thinking. And he's always allowing other opinions in. And so he's at that place where God has decided that Samuel should not unleash him a champion. But you know what I love about God? He gives us chances upon chances upon chances upon chances. He doesn't arrive at this just like that. He gives us umpteen chances to get it right. And so now, the real purpose for Saul being there has come. And this is the challenge with the Philistines. So now he's up against the Philistines. His champion is dying. And the Philistines, they bring out their champion. And Goliath stands up and makes a declaration. He said, I defy the armies of Israel. I defy the army of Israel. And for 40 days, Saul came up and he made his declaration. And he made his challenge. Goliath, came up and he made his declaration. And he made his challenge. The interesting thing about it is that the Philistines had an army backing Goliath. And Israel had her army. But once your champion is not released, you can't see things the way you should see them. And so, when Saul saw Goliath, Saul saw defeat. He saw defeat. But then who really was Goliath? If his champion had been unleashed, he would show him that Goliath was just a one-man army. Because Goliath said, he says, if you defeat me, we will become your slaves. If I defeat your man, you will become my slaves. And we know even more he was a one-man army. Because the word of God says that when they heard that the Philistine army, that Goliath was dead, David. So he was a one-man army. Who was Goliath? A one-man army with a set of men behind him that had no qualification. They were dressed up like soldiers, acting like soldiers, but had no qualifications. So they were actually operating in a bogus status. Goliath was a one-man army. Saul was king. Goliath was just a soldier. Saul was king. All that Goliath was a soldier. But because Goliath knew how to parade, Saul was getting all agitated. Goliath could parade. 40 days, every minute Goliath came up. In these days, he would have paraded on the television. He would have paraded on Facebook. He would have paraded on the internet. He would have paraded in conferences. And he would have paraded in protests. In these days, he paraded. And it impacted. Because all this time, you did not hear a single word from Saul. Not a word. But you see what had happened is that the champion in Saul was not released. He was the man for the moment. This was his purpose. But the champion in Saul was not released. And so God says, okay, I will bring up the next man in line. That's right. I will accelerate his time. And I will bring him into the scenario. Some of us going to be like Jesus. What is this view over? My time is not yet come. But there has been an acceleration because of the expediency of the situation. And so, God brings on the picture a young man, known by none, seen by none. But God brings him on the picture. God brings him on the picture. This man, God first placed him in the house of Saul to help Saul whenever an evil spirit came on him. This was more than a keeper of sheep. This was a prophet who was able to write some messianic psalms that until today we are still unlocking. But with God's word we keep unlocking all the time. He changes according to time. And God brings him on the scene. And so the two are together. But before this battle, God had brought him on the scene. Because Saul had picked up an evil spirit. And it was this young man who God used, that whenever he played, the word of God said, the spirit departed. So before he actually came to the place where he was going to be victorious on behalf of Saul, he had been ministering already to Saul. And the Lord, and the word of God says, this young man comes on the scene. But we want to look, we want to examine David a bit more. David and Saul, both were keepers. But Saul seemed to be keepers of donkeys. And some people made a mock of it. But in those days, donkeys were pretty expensive. And they were pretty elite. Okay, so it's not for us to make a mock of it. But David was keeper of sheep. And his brothers defined how many sheep he had. They said, where have you left those few sheep? So he too looked as if he was an underdog. But the difference between the two persons were that one unleashed the champion in him to such a point that he could now come and he could rescue he could rescue the entire nation. And so he's there. But his life, if you look at his life, there is so much we can learn. Because if you're going to unleash the champion, you've got to recognize you cannot have a championship and no competition. So there's got to be competition. If you're going to unleash the champion as a child of God, you have to have battle. Because what happens is that you go on dimension to dimension. You go from harder battle to harder battle. But guess what? You experience greater peace. And as you see God, your champion, fight for you in situation after situation, your confidence in Him becomes so great that you dare. And this is the ultimate unleashing of the champion. Look at David's life. Started with a lion, bigger than him, stronger than him, higher than him, greater than him. And then he moved to a bear, same thing. And if you think that was bad, then he came to Goliath. And if you think that was bad, if you think Goliath was an opponent, he came to Saul. The same man who God has used him to help. And when you think Saul was bad, he came to Absalom. This is his own son. And when you think Absalom was bad, in his old age, in his bed, can't even walk properly, here comes Adonijah. But with every battle, there was a greater release of the champion. He was never defeated. And it is for us to realize that no matter what we are going through, once the champion is released, once he is allowed to direct you, once he's allowed to do what he wants to do, you're going to win. You're going to win. Many of us are already positioned, but the champion in us is not released. And so we're at that position that Saul was at. So David comes to him. Even though Saul was silent, Saul had his ears on the ground. Saul had his people out. And so he heard of David, and he brought him. And when he came, Saul looked at him. We're going to back up in 1 Samuel 17. Verse 32. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fear because of him. Thy servants will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight. For thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. Sometimes people try to leash the champion in you. I've come to help you. But he's now trying to leash the champion in David. And his praises are going to Goliath. He's saying Goliath is an experienced fighter. And he is declaring the strength of Goliath. But I love David. And David said unto Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep. And David began to praise God. He began to show the works of God. Praise is not only songs. Praise also sings. Praise is boasting in the Lord. Praise is declaring his words in situations. Praise is testifying of his goodness and his greatness. So praise takes all kinds of forms. So when the enemy comes in, you have got to be able to reach for the right form of praise and begin to release it. Begin to release it. Do not sit down and let the enemy walk over you. And whenever there is no hope, I love the song this morning. It says, my praise will roar louder. And so when he comes up with the qualification of Goliath, David comes up with the qualification of God. You've got to be able to come to that place in the spirit where you've got the right praise for the right situation. And that's why you got to praise him for yourself, like the song says. I got to praise him for myself. Okay? Nobody can praise him because I know what he did. So when it comes up, it's personal. When the worship comes up, it's personal. When the praise comes up, it's personal. It opens heavens and heavens fight for me. Heaven fights for you. And so, he's telling David about Goliath. And David begins to tell him about God. Sometimes, you got to tell situations about God. Last week was wonderful. It makes it very easy for me to speak. You've got to, because what God is taking us into, there's going to be battles. Yes. And he's fortifying every area of our lives. We've got to realize as Christians, we will live with battles. Yes. But we not only will live with battles, we will live with victory. Yes. We will live with victory. So you don't get scared of the battles, because you know that you will be victorious. Because the champion in you is directing you as to how to fight. And it doesn't always have to be binding and loosing. Sometimes your fight is a fight of wisdom. Yes. Sometimes your fight is a fight of grace. Sometimes your fight is a fight of forgiveness, of loving kindness, of tender mercies. Yes. Your fight, most times, is a fight that displays the nature of Christ. Because the nature of Christ is light. He says, I'm the light of the world. And when you begin to release light, the darkness goes. And so as the darkness goes, and as light begins to illuminate everything, your opponent begins to realize that she's not really my opponent. She really doesn't hate me. She doesn't love me. And there's a turning or a changing in the situation. So it's not always that you're binding and you're going down and pounding the enemy. It is standing and allowing the champion in you to be released and to begin to manifest himself in whatever dimension of his nature needs to be manifested in the situation and the circumstance. You know, you can win a warfare by not saying anything. them to keep silent, you will be the war. So it is about fighting not with the weapons that are carnal, but those that are mighty through your champion. Okay? That brings down strongholds, etc. And so David knew exactly which weapon to put his arm on that time. The weapon of testimony. My soul shall make her boast in the Lord. And so he began to boast in the Lord. If you're going to unleash the champion, you've got to allow the champion to dress you. He dresses you in righteousness. He dresses you in holiness. He adorns you completely different to the world. Goliath was wearing coat of mail. All that Saul was dressing David with, that's what Goliath was wearing. Oh, David says, no. I have approved these things. God is moving in our lives right now in our circumstances, our challenges, in our situations. And He's deliberately bringing victory because He's proving to us, I will win this crown. I am a God of victory. There is nothing that I cannot bring you through and bring you into. And so after that, it behoves us to walk in the manifestation of what we have proven. David says, I don't want this. I have not proven this. He didn't say, I have proven a slingshot. I have proven a stone. I have proven an arrow. He says, I don't want this. This was absolute dependence on the champion in him. He says, I have not proven this. And he put it aside. And he was quite right. Because all those things Saul had, Goliath had. And this big, strong, hefty man Goliath couldn't carry his own shield. He had to have somebody else to fetch his shield. Now your shield is your protection. Sometimes we're depending on somebody else's protection. Okay? And for a favor. But the greatest person to give you favor is God. Amen. When He gives a favor, it's a favor. It is beyond anything you can imagine or comprehend. And nobody holds you at ransom after that. He continues to allow you to decide whether you will pray, whether you will worship, whether you will adore. He doesn't choke you and say, remember I did this for you, come on. He's not like that. He allows you until such time as His goodness leads you to repentance. Until such time. And so David said, I have not broken this. Hold on to what you have proven. Not to what is recommended. Not to what is suggested. Hold on to what is over. And so it comes to a place where David goes out to meet Goliath. Because Goliath cannot see your champion. He will despise your stature. And he will make mistakes. Because he cannot see your champion. So when he thinks of his stature, and he thinks of all his protection, he could not comprehend something like this coming to fight me. He could comprehend. But I was studying the strategy of the champion God. And if Goliath is so tall, there is no way the man carrying a shield could cover his upper part. There was no way. And this is where the wisdom of God will kick in. It is obvious that man can only cover up to the extent of the height of the man, and if he's a little strong, he can hold on. But Goliath was a giant. And so, actions may be strange. But even though they are strange, they are powerful. They are powerful. So he aims for the forehead. There is no way anything can protect him with the forehead. And obviously, there was an exchange of words. But again, David had the right words for the right time. Because he was not operating out of himself. He was just allowing the champion to do what to say, whatever should be done. And he was complying. And so yes, the obedience of David was so awesome. And you see, you have to remember that this is a praiser. This is a worshiper. So he's not going to just be moving up alone. He has got a song. And you can imagine as he began to praise. His champion in him is releasing strength into his arms. Releasing strength, this champion in you. Everything that you need, your champion has in you. Every single thing. And so all he has got to do is allow the champion. Not intimidated, not fearful, but just standing knowing. Not even depending on Israel's army, nobody. My soul dependence is upon my champion. I give him full access to me. Whatever he says, no matter how it sounds, I will do it. Wherever he tells me to go, I will go. All I want is for him to be large and in charge. Yes. And so he stands in his minuteness and allows the champion to stand in his childhood. And so out of David arises a child that is not seen. He's an unseen child. Because how could he be seen? All that he has is beyond, definitely beyond anything that can be embodied in the natural realm. So he cannot be seen. What he will have to do is he will have to come in whatever stream of his presence you need for the situation and the circumstance and release whatever he has to release. So he will never be seen. And that will always get the enemy puzzled. Because when he looks, he's not seeing anything. And so when David comes up to that man really got so mad and said, this is all Israel could do. This is all Israel could come up with. Some of you, when you take your position, they will look at you because you look so scrawny. You look so out of tune with the environment. And that is the way it is supposed to be. This is what you bring in this office now. This? You see the latest staff, remember? Check it out. But it's not what you look like. It's who you have on the inside. This is why you have to live your life from the inside out. You have to live your life from the inside out. You have to ensure that you address the inner man, because the inner man is not you, it's your champion. And so you've got to be concerned with what's happening on the inner man. Because if you do not release him to do whatever he wants, in all areas, what you will find happening is that there are times when you will need him. But you have him back. You know, when I was preparing this thing, I got a greater understanding as to why God said to Peter, whatever you allow will be allowed. Whatever you disallow will be disallowed. Because I am in you. But I will operate to the level that you allow me to operate. Because He's a God of choice. He gives us choice. So it's up to each of us. I think Petra alluded to this on Friday night. It's up to each of us to decide how far we want to go. It's up to us. And as you release Him, and you allow Him to come into the fullness of the measure of His stature in you, you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. I believe that corporately, God has positioned the church. But the time has come for the release of God in us. That we no longer come to the place where this is how it is. Because I've come and I've met it that way. But I've come to bring change. I have come to bring order. And so irrespective of who was doing it this way, this is what God says to do, and this is what it will be. The Lord said, when the occasion rises, do what you have to do, because I am with you. And no matter how intimidating it may seem, I think the greatest challenge we have now is fear. It's fear. You know, the greatest challenge. For some of us, it's the voice of the boss. For some of us, it's if I get fired, I will lose all the maturity. But it can never get to that. God says, I am with you. Yes. Sometimes that same boss that you're scared of, scared of you too. But He's not showing you. So when you begin to speak, He will listen. But you cannot speak just from a standpoint of getting up and speak. The champion in you has to be released. Anytime you operate out of yourself, you're going to end up by fall. Ultimately, losing all that God has. But if you allow the champion to be released, if you really submit to God, come to a place of thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And watch God take over and do awesome. And the thing about it is that when He does these things, He is doing it through you. He's doing it through you. But it's for you to be in that conscious state that even though this thing is happening through me, I know it's God doing it. David says in closing, in verse 46, he says, this day will the Lord deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee, and take thine head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air, and to the wild beasts of the earth. And then he gave a reason, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. All the glory was going to go to God. He didn't want anybody to know that David was a hard one. Was a joke. He wasn't concerned about that. What he was concerned about was that all would know that there is a God. That God will get all the glory. How God wants to purify our passion. How God wants our passion to be pure. For us to give Him the glory and give Him the acknowledgement that whoever I am, whatever I am doing, it is not me, but it's because of the God in me. He says, and all the assembly shall know that the Lord saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and He will give you into our hands. The battle is the Lord's. It's not ours. The fight is the Lord. It's not ours. All he's asking is allow him to be the champion he was ordained to be in your life. To release him that he can do whatever he wants. No but. But God, no buts. Just allow me to do what I want. It would have sounded so foolish to us to go before Goliath with a slingshot and fight with. That seems to be all. But in this era of Goliath, there is a need for David. David's not because of the accuracy of his aim, but because of the excellency of his submission. The excellency of his submission. As he stood before that king, all he was saying to the king is, I know a champion who can come up against this champion. And that champion is in you. And this is the declaration that this nation needs at this time. This is the declaration. We have a champion. This is the last Sunday before we go into Republic. And this is our 49th Republic. We're on the brink of a jubilee. 49, 7 times 7. After that, for the next year, the Lord said, rest the land. God is saying to us, rest yourself for the next year and allow me to do what I want to do. Because God is about to change things from the foundation. This is not about party, this is about righteousness. This is Guyana's time, but we got to be on the right foundation. So everything that must be shaken will be shaken by the government or opposition. It will be shaken because God, the champion, has been released in this nation. And nobody can dictate for him what to do and how to do it. What has to be shaken will be shaken. So we got to hang up our favorites. We got to hang up our fan club. And we got to fix our eyes on God. And ask him, Lord, what are you saying? Lord, what are you doing? But there is no doubt that this is Guyana's time. And God is fixing the foundation. That's why he's gone back. I don't normally preach politics. But we as the church got to know our role. That is why God has gone right back to dual citizenship. Because he is fixing the foundation. He's a righteous God. And everything must be in righteousness. And so the very foundation has to be fixed. No falsehood. No fault of the foundation has got to be fixed. It has to be right. So irrespective of what side you're on, God is ordering this nation. And church, this is not the end of Guyana's battle. It's not the end. But you know what? Every battle will cause us to prove God more and more. So church, when this season is over, we can't afford to go into relapse. We've got to intensify. Because every level takes more strength, takes more power. God is able, but he requires of us that we do what we have to do. And that is stay in his presence. And be the people he has called us to be. Allow him to really make us light. We cannot have darkness now. Because if you have darkness, just like the politician, dual citizenship, one foot in the kingdom of darkness and one foot in the kingdom of God. God is saying, you gotta give up your citizenship now. And come to David. David had citizenship for one place. We got to dwell in one kingdom. We got to live the life of one kingdom. Okay? We got to do the things of one kingdom. Who you see me in the church, that is the same person that will be on the road. The same person in the workplace. And because I am not in this country, I'm not supposed to be in certain places. I cannot be there and I cannot at the same time. I am talking now spiritually. I want to get right because we are following it naturally. But there's a spiritual connotation to us. Right? That you gotta give up your citizenship for the kingdom citizenship. You can't get in the darkness of the light together. The Lord says, if you're neither hot nor cold, I'm gonna spew you out of my mouth. I'm not taking to your citizenship. Today, God calls us to relinquish our passports to the kingdom of darkness. Relinquish our visas. And come over. Come over. Come over. That is the line of the second word ever. Come over. Because he's about to make a mega move in this place. A mega move. But he's drawing a line in the side. And you better be on the right side. It isn't a threat. It is just a warning. Nobody will say, and God will not say, that I did not say this to you on this day. Guyana is a republic, and it will be a republic. Because God is removing all the armors and all the coats of mail. Goliath had another man holding his shield. I want to read this in you. He had another man. He had his security resting in another man. Church, our security must be strictly in Christ. Strictly in Christ. And so even in terms of relationships, God is going to be shifting things. And he's going to be moving things. Because we have got to line up. You got to decide which nation you're in. If you're going to be a holy nation, a royal priesthood, or if you're going to be on the outside. This is the time, and this is the season, when everybody has got to come to the same place, like David. That you either be with the God who delivered you from the lion and the bear, or you go to the God who will deliver you, but he will turn back and be a lion and a bear, because he's going to consume you. It's going to eat you up. Somebody here is saying, it's easy for her to talk it. But the situation is so complicated. How do I get through it? It's time to come to this altar. It's time to come to this altar. No matter how complicated the situation. God wants you to just come to this altar. That's the way you come in, it's not to lay hands on you. It's to let out a worship that will release the giant in you. It's not laying on hands. Because you've got to come. You see, worship brings you to a place where you see only Him. Everything else fades away. And He becomes the center of it all. And when He becomes the center, you're able to release it. Today, if you're sitting in this place, you don't look at anybody. And the situation is so complicated that it is difficult for you to release the champion in you fully. You find yourself at a place where sometimes you compromise. God wants to set you free today. He wants to release you from that today. He wants to cut you off from the other kingdom and to let you just worship. Let's come to the altar. We're going to worship at the altar. Worship is taking place. Stand, church.